Logical psychiatry. I'm gonna be talking to you guys about the one video that I couldn't find the last time. But we did find one of the two videos, if you remember. On one of my last videos, when I showed videos, right? Here's the one that I mentioned that states that, or even claims that us guys took the base of chivalry away, when really the feminist movement, and be that of course the current feminist movement, and also the um the the female gender took chivalry away, yet the woman, as usual, doesn't want to take responsibility, as it is when it comes to many other things. Even when us men are in relationships with women, they don't want to take responsibility for their negative actions, and therefore they want us to forgive them for cheating on us, or they want us to do various other things, which is illogical. And when it comes to, like I said many times, when it comes to guys cheating on women, oh, that's not okay. They don't have to forgive us, but we men have to forgive them for cheating on us. That's not reality, ladies. And here we go. Here's the one that I mentioned on one of my videos that I could not find.
Hey, hey you guys, I'm Nagin. Oh my god, I'm so awkward. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a subscriber, hey, welcome back. I kind of want to make this video because it's something that I just get really annoyed about, because I have really high expectations for men, but I end up having to lower them because they suck. Okay, here's the first one. Guys, if you...
Oh, our standards suck. They are the ones that cause this crap, but our standards, our base of what we feel that, and we have rights to know and have, suck, but theirs doesn't. That's a load of shit, and it's not logical. But anyway, here we go.
See a woman behind you, or anyone, or someone carrying something heavy, hold the door open. Did your family not teach you anything? Common courtesy.
This woman is deluded. This woman is completely not really up here. Did your parents teach you anything? Common courtesy. Just walk up to a woman and hold it and open the door, even if she acknowledges you or not. It's okay. It should be okay to you men, and you should still want to be with us regardless. Oh,
Share your umbrella. Share it, please. Oh, guys, you know, a good way to talk to a girl is wait for it to rain and then give your umbrella. Hey, do you want to get under my umbrella and can I marry you? And then she'll be like, oh my god, yeah.
okay, if you heard that, oh my god, yeah thing, it's clear she doesn't know shit. And normally I wouldn't curse on logical psychiatry video here, but I'm being honest here. She thinks that she knows all women. She thinks that she's speaking for all women, when really she's not. She's only speaking for herself. When, if you were to go up to a woman, hold an umbrella up over her head as well as yours, she would be like, what the fuck? Really. She probably wouldn't, but the woman in general would. Thereby, it would be not really logical. And and when she mentioned the basis of like marrying the woman, and then when she's oh my god, yeah, type of thing, right? Um, she's really only talking about her, what she wants for her. And what women don't get, it's psychologically illogical and not realistic for that to happen. It's not the man who caused this crap. Were the words harder for the woman to find a quote unquote good man? I'll get into that later.
Third one. This is a little classic, but it's getting to know her parents if you're interested in her. I know it seems a little old-fashioned, but you know what? If you want to get on good terms with the parents, you need to introduce yourself, and all that good stuff. It really
When it comes to getting on good terms with the parents, you don't need to be someone you're not. There are women out there that will act all sweet, sincere, and all this shit right in front of your parents. Yet, when they're not around your parents, they'll act all bitchy, all controlling, and if you don't do this, I'll do that. You know, and yet she thinks that she knows the way. Oh, you need to do what we women want. You don't go by what men want. You men want. What you men want sucks, as she said earlier.
show something to the parents. If I am dating someone and I tell my parents, I'm like, hey, I'm dating this guy, and I've been dating him for like months, he hasn't asked to meet you, my parents are not going to like you. And you know what? My parents never like anyone I talk about. If you don't talk to your girl's parents about marriage or at least meeting them, may God be with you.
See what I mean? That's a feminist attribute right there. Oh, if you don't do what we women want you to do, the way we women want you to act, may God be with you. And that's supposed to be a religious aspect of things? No, that's female control. Majorly illogical on that, especially.
Pray for you. I'm not even like religious, but I hope someone is with you. Guys, let a girl wear your jacket. Just offer it. It's not cheesy or anything, I promise. Just be like, hey, like you're cold, you're shivering, you have icicles on your nose. Do you want to borrow my coat? And she'll be like, yeah. Do you want to come upstairs? And he'll be like, no. Because that is not respectful. Number 5, walking a girl up to.
See, did you hear that? Did you hear that? She wants you guys to just simply put your coat, even if it's freezing ass fucking cold. Who gives a shit about how if the guy freezes? Who gives a shit about how the guy would feel if it's freezing ass cold? And if the woman is freezing and you don't know her worth a damn, just go up to her and offer your jacket. I'll explain that part to it as well.
Door. I live in an apartment complex, so I get dropped off like right in front of my stairs. But if a guy actually
If you men were to drive up to their place or residence and just drop them off, don't watch them go. Don't watch them walk up the stairway or open that door to their apartment. Just drive the fuck off. Because this is exactly what she thinks that men should do when it comes to women, and it's not logical either. It's like in what I mentioned in the sense that men should risk their lives, and even if they die because of it, but they should still do it. And here's the case in point.
like walked me, like put his car on what's the term? What's your hazards on? If a guy put his hazards on and it's like, hey, I'm gonna walk you upstairs, you could trip and fall through your commute, like right there. But I would really like that. Walk a girl to her door, wherever she lives, even if you're not feeling it, just do it. It's so polite. And you know, if she lives kind of like she has to go through like this maze to get to her home or her apartment, you please walk her to her door. If it's nighttime especially, it just makes us feel safe and we'll think about that. We'll feel like you're kind of like protecting us in a way. So
She thinks that she's God. She thinks that she's the Almighty with all these right here so far. Just to let you know ahead of time, she's not.
Complimenting. Be a gentleman. Be sweet. If you know that I worked really hard on my makeup and my hair, say something. I always tell guys like, hey, you look really good if they actually do look good. I don't really like complimenting guys because I don't want them to get a big head. But
Oh, see what I mean right there? She doesn't like complimenting guys because she feels that if a woman compliments a guy, oh, the guy will get a big head. But regardless, you should always compliment a woman. They don't have to really compliment you. Majorly illogical.
learned something, and it was if you feel like you want to acknowledge someone for something, just say it. Lately, I've been like, dude, your eyes look really pretty. Or like I've been doing it to like my friends, my roommate, like you look like a snow bunny, and she's like, what? But guys, but guys, complimenting, it's being nice to my friends. That's also something cool. Being nice to a girl's friends. If you've got a girl's friends on your side,
See what I mean? She thinks that she knows it all. She thinks that she knows the way guys should be versus instead of being the way the guy is, even indirectly, that the guy should be the way the woman wants. Forget about the forget about accepting the guy for who and how he is, right?
got the world. You've got her. If you've got her friends, you have the girl. Her friends will tell her everything. I promise you. So one of my friends was seeing this guy, and I talked a lot of shit about him because he sucks. He's a bad guy. Just stuff like that. And I mean, if you don't have me on your side, or if you don't have your girl's friends on your side, you better be sleeping with one.
See what I mean? She thinks she's fucking Freud when it comes to relationships and men and women and dating when she's not Freud.
It's gonna be a hard relationship. I'll tell you that. Like, I'm not even lying. I wish I was. Guys too, girls. If the guy's friends don't like you, good luck, girl. That shit's gonna be hard to get out of. Number 8. If we have history, we go on dates, we have personal stuff that goes on in our relationship, don't tell your friends. So, do you guys remember in the Sex and the City movie, how everyone is talking about their coloring outside the lines, which is basically like their sexual endeavors, and then it goes to Carrie, and they're like, Carrie, what about you? How are you a big? And Carrie goes, she just doesn't answer. She goes, oh, and let me just say, we never color in, something like that. She just doesn't disclose the information. And then it's like, wow, like I wonder what their personal life is like. So guys, think of it that way. Girls, think of it that way. Both.
When women date guys, even in the base of Sex and the City, they always give their own opinion. Thereby, their friends always give their own opinion when it comes to, say, Mr. Big or whoever the hell else. Even if they're directly talking about Carrie's date on Sex and the City or the woman's date. But yet we men can't talk about the women we date. We men can't talk about the women we date. We can't socialize with our own friends. This woman is completely and utterly. Let me see her name here. Her name is. Oh, she wants to call herself by the name of Negeen and Darghi. However the hell whatever that's supposed to be pronouncing. And she's more than deluded.
Sex is, we talk about it. So let's not. Don't talk about personal things that happen in your relationship to your friends unless they're like your best friend. But guys, please don't do that because it just makes us look really weird. Flowers. What are they weird?
Um, what she doesn't get when it comes to even sex, the women talk about how it was with a man sexually, but yet she doesn't believe that women should be talked about when it comes to sex. When it comes to men talking about their sexual endeavors, when it comes to women. Men have a right to what this little feminist doesn't realize does does not realize that she cannot call the shots, regardless if she's with a man or not. You cannot call the shots when it comes to either gender because she doesn't know shit. She's only going by what she feels and how she feels for her. The desperate little slut feminist bitch right there that she only wants things for her to be done the way she says. And guess what? She doesn't realize men are going to talk about the sexual endeavors even when it pertains to her, regardless if she wants it or not. And if it makes her feel like a slut, oh fucking well, deal with reality. Because men know that women talk about their sexual endeavors, whether if it was good or not, with the man to their female friends, and she knows this, but yet she wants us guys to be in the mindset of what she says. Oh, men, don't talk to your friends, even your best friends. If it comes to the sexual endeavors between you and your woman, it makes us feel weird. Um, in hindsight, it makes us feel like a slut, a whore, a hoe bag, and that we're easy. Well, then guess what? The simple fact of it is, and I know men know this already, then don't talk about it to your female friends. But guess what? Men know better enough to the fact that when it comes to sexual endeavors, especially, that women will go ahead and talk about it to and with their friends, close friends or not close friends. In the same gender as the woman, they'll still talk about it. And yet, therefore, with that, men have an equal right to talk about it when it comes to talking about it with their friends or even close friends or both in the circle, just like Sex and the City situations. So therefore, she has no right to justify shit.
I don't think at this point. I'll catch up eventually. I think it's 9 or 8, whichever. Flowers. Oh my god. The sweetest thing a guy can do. It's cheap. It speaks volumes. And you're good for the night. Like, I remember this guy brought me sunflowers. Like, a lot of guys bring me sunflowers because I love sunflowers. I love that. It was kind of like the thought that counts. And guys, you just want to do something really sweet, simple. Flowers. Red flowers speak a lot. White flowers are like weird and friendly. Don't get yellow flowers. Stick to red, and I like sunflowers. Or ask.
See what I mean? She thinks that she knows the justifications of flowers when it comes to women. She's only going by the justifications of flowers when it comes to her. She's not a psychologist. She's not a therapist. A she's not a relationship counselor either. So therefore, guess what? Whatever she says, it only goes pertaining to what she wants. But guess what, though? When it comes to, again, like I said, when it comes to sexual endeavor things, don't go by what she says. Oh, don't talk about our sexual endeavors. Go ahead and talk about it, guys.
And like just casually, and then bring it to them like in a week or two or whatever. So the next one is standing up for me. If someone is disrespecting me, I would really appreciate it if you showed me or showed the person that that's not okay. I had just been talking to this guy, and I was like, I called him. I was like, hey, like I'm getting these really weird phone calls. He goes, give me the number. I'm gonna call them. And I was like,
Oh yeah, this is another part of it right here. When it comes to both the apartment and sticking up for her and sticking up for the woman, they don't care if you get beaten the shit out of or if you nearly die because of it. All they want you to do is stick up for them, and what happens to you in a negative aspect, even when it pertains to your life, they can care less. But yet they won't tell you that straight out, even directly. or even in a slight bit of indirectly. So don't fall for that crap.
Are you sure? He's like, yeah, definitely. So he calls the number. He's like, stop talking to Nagin. Like, that's not okay. And the guy was just like, okay, sorry. And so stuff like that. I really like that guy.
See what I mean? She thinks that she knows how things will be. She's only play acting within her own mind when she really doesn't really know. She thinks that when it comes to one guy doing one thing for her, that the guy is going to outright just give in. That's not reality.
Because it's just like, damn, like he is like manly, and he got my back, and I'll have his in the future. So it's kind of like I really.
She'll have the guys in the future, which is basically never.
Appreciated that. I really like that. No, he sucks. Calling when you say you're going to call. Is this 10 or I don't know at this point? Calling when you say you're going to call. Just do it. Chivalry. Don't tell me you're going to do something and then not do it. Done. Done. Hey,
The simple fact of it is, aside from what this little feminist little bitch says right here, Nagin, as you want, I guess she calls her name herself. If you were to literally call a woman even after a date, she'll consider that desperate. She'll consider that weak. She'll consider many, many negative things. Yet she wants you to do that exact thing. Therefore, she doesn't care. She doesn't want you to really know the truth.
I really like that guy after that because it's just like, damn, like he is like manly, and he got my back, and I'll have him seeing this guy. Oh my god, he's really cool. I don't know if you'll watch this video, but like just so you wouldn't get cold. Like what? What the hell? That is so sweet. Oh my god, thanks. And it was just like wanted to get like stuff for dinner or one of those, and we were walking past the freezer section of like the cold section, and he was walking to my left, and I was walking here, and then here's like okay, sorry, and so stuff like that. I really like that guy after that because it's just like damn, like he is like manly, and he got my back, and I'll have his in the future. So it's kind of like I really appreciated that. I really like that. No, he sucks. Calling when you say you're going to call. Is this 10 or I don't know.
I already explained that part of
Calling
it.
when you say you're going to call. Just do
I'll
it.
say more.
Chivalry. Don't tell me you're going to do something and then not do it. Done. Done. Hey, I was seeing this guy. Oh my god. He's really cool. I don't know if you'll watch this video, but him and I were at a grocery store because we wanted to get like stuff for dinner or one of those, and we were walking past the freezer section of like the cold section, and he was walking to my left, and I was walking here, and then here's like the cold area, and I was like, why are you walking here? And he's like, just so you wouldn't get cold. Like what? What the hell? That is so sweet. Oh my god, thanks. And it was just like one of the nicest things like a guy has put thought to in doing. You know what I mean? I messed that one up because I suck, but it was just a really, really sweet gesture. And from then on, every time I went to a grocery store with a guy, I would like always think about that because guys don't really care to do stuff like that, or they may think about it, but they don't want to like actually go through with it. You know? So if you're watching this, hey, thanks. I miss you. But you know, there are just some guys that think that it's okay to disrespect women and not do these kind things. I mean, we do carry children and we do a lot of stuff that we need to be appreciated for. So, guys, I hope you learned something from this. I genuinely wanted to make this video because I feel like I'm not being respected by men at all. At all. I'm not being taken out on dates. I'm not being said the most polite things.
Desperation.
A lot of the guys' minds are just in the wrong places, and it's just really self-defeating, and it really hurts my feelings. So maybe don't know how to treat a girl and don't want to be.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that because obviously she thinks that she knows it all. Nagin doesn't realize that all the crap that she mentioned is not for women in general. What she wants men to do is the very complete opposite that women really claim that they want from a guy. She's just basically showing major amounts of desperation. Let's see if I can get it here. Anyways, Nagin is showing major amounts of desperation. And she is not a psychologist. She's not a relationship therapist. And she's not anything. She's not God of all women of knowing what guys should and should not do. She has a psychosis equal to Yogi Oates, the Mgtow simp. The base of desperation. The base of chivalry is lost because of women and feminists, the feminist movement and the Mgtow movement. Yet that woman that you heard doesn't want men to know that because women won't admit it. Obviously, the psychological psychosis is if you men fall for what she said, you obviously are going towards the aspect of not being secure within yourself. If you fall for what she said, then obviously you don't know what you want either, though. Thereby, it's better for you men not to date. And the one thing is, women will say a lot of things. This is what men should do. This is what men should do. This is what men should do. Yet, really, they're only talking and speaking for themselves. This is what women want for them when it comes to the base of relationships. Women are not really, if at all, generally at all, really, speaking for the entire female gender. Because each woman wants things differently in a different pace and different levels and such like that, right? Thereby, no woman can say, not even Nagin here, in this video that you heard, can say, oh, I know what women want. Because I'm a woman, I want this, so other women want the same thing. Each woman wants things differently, and what she said that men should do when it comes to women, don't go by. You need to be yourself. If the woman was attracted to you, it's for you being who you are. Don't fall for what she said, what Nagin said, because Nagin is only speaking for her own desperate self. Thereby, even if you were to date a person even equal to Nagin, or even if you were to date Nagin, don't go by what she says. Like I said, when it comes to dropping Nagin off, just skid out. After she gets out of the vehicle and walks up on the sidewalk, just skid out. And when it comes to making the phone call, don't make the phone call right when you say you're going to make a phone call. Wait about a week or two. Women are not the all tell all of relationships. They want to act like they are, but they're not. The basic fact is that one, of how women date men is by the attractiveness of the man being who and how he is. Yet in Nagian's viewing, in order to keep dating a woman, you need to do what the woman feels that the man should do, instead of going by your own merit. What Nagian wants is what all feminists want is the male-dominated society to be relabeled and taken over by the matriarchal society. And I've said in many of my videos, even one of these ones here, of the logical psychiatry, is that more than 100 years ago there was a society known as the matriarchal society. For why it's not in existence now, and it has not been in existence since the 1980s, 70s, 60s, 50s, and possibly 40s as well, is because something went awry. No one is for sure what and why. And what was that went awry that made it go to a complete non-existence, to where it was essentially reestablished as the male-dominated society? Nobody knows. But women don't seem to want to accept that now. And when it comes to the ERA, what the ERA did in 1972 to 1978, and even again doesn't get this, is that what the ERA did, Equal Rights Amendment, feminist group of the 1970s, did for women. They marched and protested from 1972 to 1978 for women to have independence, equality, and able to fucking work in the sense of independence and not being able to make their own money, being able to make their own income, and being separate from their fathers and mothers and family, to where they're able to live their own lives. And there's other things to it, but the one thing is, obviously, with the even with the introduction of the feminist movement when it first was established, that the ERA wasn't enough for women, obviously, and it obviously isn't enough for Nagian either, obviously. Women now are on YouTube saying, "Where are the good men? Why aren't they being subservient to women? Why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that? Why aren't they kissing our ass? Why aren't they spending their hard-earned money on us?" They don't say that part of it outright, even directly, but that's what they want. And when it comes to becoming and going Dutch, there are women that out there that will go by that, be that mainly, if not only just one date, if at all. But more often than not, they want the guy to spend the money on them. But yet, when the guy just goes to the point of only doing it maybe one time and expects the woman to contribute anything in the relationship, the woman won't unless she feels it's necessary. Thereby, we men have to go by the way women feel and what women want, essentially. But it's okay for us to just outright just spend our hard-earned cash on them, but they don't have to do that when it pertains to us and their money. and they want equal fairness. That's not really based on equal fairness. That's the base of selfish, and also it's a feminist trait. It's a well-known feminist trait. Is that, but here's the one thing that Nick doesn't realize this. Let's see if I can get it here. Nick does not realize that women have the courts. Say, for example, you're married to this little slut right here, okay? And she decides that she wants to divorce you. She decides that she wants to venture out and find some other simp idiot, right? She'll either secretly, while married to you, monkey branch over to another one, see what she can get out of him, and if she can get enough out of him, then suddenly, if she finds it at all possible to the point of marriage, she'll divorce your sorry ass and then go over to him, and then the whole cycle starts up again. Thereby, she'll be getting money from you, even if you have a child with this little feminist right here, or not, or even any feminist like her. They'll take you for everything you have, financially, emotionally, and many other ways. And they claim to fucking care. No, they don't. The basic fact is that every Mgtow member, and this is gonna be in favor of the Mgtow. This one is anyway, to start with. But the basic fact is, it's the psychological psychosis of Nagian. It's desperation, just like Mgtow simp Yogi Oats. The woman with the avocado and the banana, desperation, just like Mgtow simp Yogi Oats. The woman that showed her bus line, saying that women in the society's viewing of being catty is fucking stupid and horror bullshit. That is the desperation, and just like the simp Yogi Oats. Each one of them are showing their own level and kind of desperation, which basically stinks like fish. Although, here's the one thing, and I know it, and I've been around it, and I'm sure many other men, even if not married men, have been around it. That if a woman comes right by you, and you're not dating her, and you're not married to her, or anything like that, right? And she forgets to change her period pad. Fish. And I'm being direct and honest about it. And if women don't like it, guess what? It's the truth, and you women know it. If you don't take care of yourself, and yet you don't care what smell you smell like, but yet you want a guy anyway, you won't get one, even with that aspect. The reason I'm wearing the Starfleet uniform, known as Captain Picard's Starfleet uniform, is because it's in the base of the future. The women want things to benefit them the most. But when it comes, and for their future. But as it stands right now, even though they won't tell you directly, or even indirectly, for that matter, they don't care what the hell happens to men outright. They don't care if it completely screws up the man psychologically. They don't care if it completely tears up the man even emotionally. All they care about is getting what they want, what they feel that they deserve in the sense of entitlements. And they want equality. And yet here's the feminist movement and the Mgtow movement in the base of female equality equal to men. The feminist movement is a load of shit. The feminist movement of wanting equality for women is a load of shit. All they want is power, control over the gender that they feel that supposedly had power and control over women for so many centuries. So they want to try to take back that power over women. When really, logically, and they won't even acknowledge this. Even again, the the feminist YouTube skank, desperate little slut won't admit this. That one, you don't need a feminist group to feel empowered. You don't need a feminist group such as even Mgtow to have equality. You don't need a feminist group to have independence and all this other stuff. Hell, you didn't really need the ERA for that either, ladies. But here's the thing: things were viewed differently. I understand in the 1960s, 70s. I understand it. But the basic fact is that the ERA did what they felt was necessary for women. Yet it apparently is not enough now, is it? Now that the Mgtow movement is out and building up, because men are so fucking sick and tired of the female bullshit. Here's an example. I'm gonna give you my personal experience as an example. Okay. Now, I was dating this one woman by the name of Jill, but I'm gonna tell you straight out of how we met. I was working for Target in Cupertino, California. Okay. And she was living with her father, Scott Yeaman. Okay, this was in the 1990s. Preferably 93, 94. Around that point, anyway, to start with. And anyway, I'm just minding my own business, going to work on what was known as Santa Clara County Transit bus system from Mountain View to Cupertino, or at least as a close proximity of Cupertino to where I'd be able to catch the next bus to that part of Cupertino on Stevens Creek. And I got to talking at one point. I got to talking to this one girl. I didn't know her name at first, but I found out it was Jill Yeaman at the time. And I was talking to her while waiting for the 34. And that was a bus line number. And after a while, I didn't see her. For who knows why. I didn't care. But I can tell you, when I did see her, we eventually met up, and I met her up over at a pizza place, a little dinky place, right? I bought her something. This is way before I became Mgtow. And before I became an advocate. Anyway, the whole aspect of it was is that everything seemed to be kind of like questionable, iffy, but cordial, right? And as time went on, I kept seeing her. We went places, even with one of her friends that became one of my friends, and one of her female friends that I was thought to be also a friend of mine, which was a load of shit. But the one friend of hers became my friend. The one female friend of hers became my actual friend. And here's the thing, though, too. She went to the points to where, well, if I didn't feel well, she was steering away from me, and then and then I found her going with some other idiot. Thereby, she already had him in the reins. She already looped his ass up for herself. So she cheated on me. She wanted me back. I eventually went to see if anything would change. Granted, yes, I was new at this whole thing. But here's the thing. She did it again. And then I risked my fucking job at Target for her. Her name is Jill Yeaman, aka also known as now Jill Dixon. I'll get to another part of it. She apparently played the cards that she was dealt when it came to me. I played the cards that I felt were necessary, metaphorical. The one thing is that she totally and unquestionably really didn't want to be with me, but yet she acted like she did want to be with me. She even said that directly to her father. And then when I risked my job again to go on a trip with her mother and her, I risked my job twice when it came to the American River trip with her father and her, and her father's friends and her father's fiance's friends, and her mother and her friends and her fiance's friends, being them, of course, the guy's friends when it pertained to her mother. And I know, right after that, about a month or two after that, I have about 2 days off in a row, right? Back to back, essentially. I call her. I beep her because we both had pagers at this point, and she outright told me that she was busy. Okay, busy doing what? Well, I don't want to say. I'm hanging with my friends. Oh, really? Then when I kept on beeping her in other aspects, she wouldn't respond. So what I did, I went right over to her friend's place, which were also considered my friends. They were also females. I saw the little skank hanging over a half-bald dude while sitting in a recliner. When she was with my friend Todd, she she thought she was doing the right thing by smooching with another dude and his friends. And Todd was in tears. Todd Nichols was in tears. She didn't care. She did not care. But all she could say is, Todd, it's okay. She didn't go over to comfort him. All she knew that they were the stronger bunch, so she stayed with them. instead of being faithful and devoted to me, or even Todd for that matter. Women will do that. Women will do that to test you, especially. So don't go by what Nagian said. That little slut doesn't know shit when it comes to relationships. Women, as I said, women think they know relationships. Women think, oh, men should do this, men should do that, men should do this, men should do that. But guess what though? There's one person on this video on the description. I will link to this video and on the description, and he will tell you outright. I agree with him. I told him straight up, man. I agree with everything he said, especially when it came to customer relations. And if he's watching this video, he knows who I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention his name, but he knows who I'm talking about. He even gave me a thumbs up, which I do appreciate. And again, dude, welcome to Mgtow, by the way. The basic fact is this. Jill Yeaman, aka now known as Jill Dixon, because of course she married Chris Dixon, which I consider my friend, although even if he doesn't consider me his friend, that's okay with me. I don't care. But the basic fact is that he may find, even by some unaware surprise or what have you, an unknowing aspect that what women are famous to do is that Jill will go over to another one and try to get him to simp, to do what she wants him to do. But here's the thing. She'll turn around and go right over to Chris and try to get the guy in trouble. That's what she tried to do with me when it came to Chris. Like, for example, when I was married to a different woman at this point, we were going through a parenting class, okay? But because we were about to have our child, our first child, together, that is. And lo and behold, guess who walks in? 2 to 3.5 seconds later, it was Chris Dixon, Jill Yeaman, aka Jill Dixon. We essentially be gradually acquainted with them, even after, right? And then the phone call started up again between her and I. Even on Facebook. Then when it came to the points to where I was no longer with the woman, and I'm not talking about Jill, I'm talking about the woman I was with when it came to, of course this was a number of years later, right? Of course, I'm not gonna tell you why, because right now it's not relevant. But I might at some point, just to let you know ahead of time. But anyway, she calls me up, and it was Jill calls me up and wants me to come down. At this point, they live just the slight outskirts of Sacramento, right? And at this point, at this point, I was in Sacramento. Was. Um, and She wanted me to come down while Chris Dixon was out doing whatever to make money for her as well as him, on the basis of survival and rent. And she knew this. I know she would have done exactly what I said earlier. She would have tried to get me to do anything she wanted me to do for her. And right if Chris were to walk in, she'd say something completely bullshit. Things that were not even true. Oh, he tried to take advantage of me, or he tried to do this, or he tried to do that. Therefore, Chris would easily pound me, right? But guess what, though? See, that's the power women have over guys, though. And they know it. They don't care, but they know it. While they have one guy believe one thing, they will turn around and do the same thing and have the other guy that they're actually with at this point even believe a complete opposite. Therefore, you're down for the count. If Chris Dixon is watching this, it's logically truth and fact. Women, even Jill, is more than capable, even in the emotional belief aspect of things, when it comes to between the male and female genders. It can happen, and it does happen, not only in the aspect of Jill Yeaman, Jill Dixon, aka Jill Dixon, essentially. It happens to every fucking male and female interaction, no matter who it is. It doesn't have to be Jill all the time, but I know that's exactly the actuality of things that even Jill would even pull. But here's the one thing, though. I didn't fall for it because I sensed something was afoot. Something was awry. If she really wanted to be with me, she shouldn't have done what she did in the 1990s. But who's to say if she would do the same? If she wouldn't do the same to me when it came to being with me and married to me, if she that she was planning to do even while married to Chris Dixon. Think about that. Women know how to play the fucking game, and they put us as little chess pieces. I mentioned the puzzle. I'm not going to mention the puzzle. That was already said and done on one of the other videos. In the sense of figuring it out. But when it comes to the chess piece aspect, I did not mention on the other one, is that they'll make moves in such a way that it's unforeseen, unaware to the male gender. They'll make it so slight of a move, even in the emotional, psychological, and other aspects. And they'll expect you men to know why and when and how. I can care less why they do it, but they should not do it. Yet, there's women out there now that'll, where are all the good men? Where are all the men to spend money on me? Where are all the men to do this? Where are all the men to bow down to me? That's basically what they want. I don't like spending my money because if I spend my money on me, I won't be able to afford a whole lot. I won't be able to afford my rent. I won't be able to afford my bills. Here's one thing. Um, there's a person by the name of Robbie Armada on Facebook. Hey, he's a friend of mine. And he posted something in the sense that if you stay at a woman's place, you should do something in the sense of paying her bill. Something that the woman is directly responsible to do herself. But if the man does it, the woman will more than even indirectly expect another man to do the same thing, if not something even higher than pay the bill, just so they don't have to do it, just so the woman doesn't have to do it, even though it's her responsibility, without question. See, that's another part of it right there that even Rob Armada doesn't get it. You do even the nicest, friendly, sweetest things for women, they'll expect you to do it continuously, even if it's unbeknownst to them, even if they're not really aware that you're doing it. But when they notice something, they'll say, "Oh, how sweet," or something like that. "Oh, thank you, honey." But yet they'll keep expecting that shit from men. Instead of doing things for themselves, they expect the guy to do things for the woman. Yes, they'll do things for themselves, but guess what? More often than not, a larger percentage of the fucking time, they'll expect a guy to do it when it comes to this. Spending the guy's hard-earned cash on the woman. And they call that fairness, equality? No, it's not. It's a base of female control. Female, they feel that they got the guy wrapped around their finger. And whenever they want something from the guy, they'll ask, and the guy will automatically just snap up and do it like the fucking genie from I Dream of Jeannie. Or if you were to rub a lamp and Genie, I want you to do this. Genie, I want you to do that. And then suddenly, it's done. I'm tired of doing things for myself. I'm tired of doing this for myself. I'm tired of doing that for myself. I want you to take care of it for me. Done. But here's the thing: even if guys do that type of shit, they monkey branch over to some other idiot and try to get the same thing, and it's a repeating fucking cycle. Women don't find anything wrong with this. Yet when it comes to the feminist movement, here's another part of it. Here when it comes to the feminist movement, and when the woman's biological clock starts ticking. And I know I did this hand movement before in one of my other videos, but when the clock starts, you know, the basic fact is that when they feel it within them, mostly in their emotions, and many men know and will know, the ones that are not aware of this, even the young ones will know this, is that when the female biological clock ticks, it starts from within them. They're so in touch with their emotions that they'll feel it tick, 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 tick. Then in between they start becoming even more bitchier than they were before. Even way more bitchier than they were in their teens. Way more bitchier than they were in their 20s. Way more bitchier than they were in their 30s and 40s. But somewhere along the line, they kind of calm down. Not 100%. The only time that they don't go to that aspect is when it comes to grandchildren or their nieces and nephews or cousins. When it's family related outside the relationship aspects, the dating world, they'll be calm, cool, loving, caring, the whole enchilada there, right? Yet they want us men to accept the way they are. They want us men to keep doing what we've been doing since the 1950s and live with it. And even if they monkey branch to another person and then go right back to you eventually, and then want you to forgive them for cheating on you. But if you, the man, cheats on them, slap in the face and leave. They'll leave. But when it comes to them cheating on you, they want you to forgive them and forget it. So therefore, if they're bored and unhappy again, they'll do it again, even without you knowing. Or even if you have a inclination thought of it, they want you to not pay attention to it. You know this is true. If you don't know it, you will if you want to test the waters or on that aspect. Because once you test the waters, they'll try to get you for everything that they think they can. And if you're married to one of them, they will take you for everything they think they can get away with in the base of entitlements. If you ever watch The Sopranos, and I'm sure a number of you people have, or you viewers have essentially, there is one part on The Sopranos that says, I deserve more entitlement. Thereby, the woman thinks that she deserves higher entitlement than the man. A higher percentage of entitlement over the man. She deserves to get more even out of the man than what she's getting. What she feels that she's getting in sense of satisfaction and various other things. But mostly when it comes to this. As well if it comes to things like this. Items in general. I've said many times. Maybe not always on video, but what women do not realize and will not accept and will not acknowledge, obviously, is that in reality, doesn't matter if it's a matriarchal, doesn't matter if it's the male-dominated society, doesn't matter what type of society it is. It doesn't matter if it's the society of the information age or even before, which would be the 70s and 80s and 60s and 50s. No woman, doesn't matter who the fuck you are, gets a higher percentage of entitlements over the man. It's always going to be this way. The entitlement base is not gonna waver. because a female wants to. It's the same thing. If the man would want it that way, it's not going to waver. It's going to stand still. So the women can bitch out and moan all they want in the base of entitlements, 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 entitlement, entitlement, entitlement. Fairness. There's an equal base of fairness. There's an equal base of entitlement. And if they can't accept it, oh fucking well. Logical psychiatry and Mgtow Spock says this. You are not within the right mind, women. If you think you can get full higher percentage of entitlements even through the court basic fact is that even if the woman drains the guy to a percentage in the divorce, that doesn't mean that she gets a full entitlement. That just adds to her income. But get this though, when a woman marries another simp, the other guy that she got the money from is cut off. Thereby, she doesn't get both. Having a child or not, you don't get both. It's one or the other. Thereby, also get this though too. If you have a child, you're paying child support, right? After the divorce, that is special, right? Even in the case that I believe his name was Alec, another new Mgtow member. Welcome again. He had a situation, probably still dealing with that. I don't know. Where his now ex-wife is not allowing him to see his child when he has every God-given legal right to see his child. Yet she thinks that she's doing right. She thinks that she knows what's better for the child, and the guy doesn't. Yet, at the same point in time, the guy has no intention to harm either of the two. All the guy wants is a legal, logical aspect of seeing the child. Spending time with the child. But here's the thing though too. As I've said in many other one of my videos, is that children are not asked to be put in this particular or situation. However you want to look at it. It's the unfortunate aspect, and not their fault, not the child's fault, that is, that they are put in this predicament to where the woman has differences and the guy has his own differences, but is able to have a willing aspect of working it together with a woman. But yet the woman doesn't feel justified or comfortable or any other aspect of feminist crap like that, right? The basic fact is, when it comes to this point, trying to work together as much as possible for the benefit of the child besides the benefit of the relationship. The woman is only looking at it when it comes to her and her well-being and her thinking and her, everything that pertains to her. She's not really focused on when it comes to the child. What is more beneficial for the child? What's more important and necessary for the child? It's only what's more important for her and her own well-being and her sanity and all this feminist crap. When you have a child, ladies, and men know At least most men do. When you have a child, ladies, you cannot go, well, I want this, but I don't feel I'm getting it. Or I want this and I don't feel like I'm getting enough. I want that and I don't feel I'm getting enough. Logic states this. You cannot expect to get a higher, unrealistic level to feel that you're being justified, or that you're being, you know, to where everything's all hunky dory, or whatever the hell else, and where you're being all comforted, but yet the guy has to fucking suffer. And see, that's the thing. Women don't really give a damn if the guy's comfortable in any way or matter. All they care about is mostly them. All they care about is mostly the woman. Only cares about the woman. Really, in a marriage, it's supposed to be he supports you, you support him emotionally. He supports you emotionally and financially, you support him, and even on the emotional, psychological aspect, especially because he's doing his best into his knowledge for the woman. It seemed to be okay with you in the relationship aspect. That's why you fucking walked down that aisle and did the vow crap. And you promised each other in the name of Heavenly Father. Many women don't realize this. When they do that, and then they go back on it in any way, especially when it comes to the adultery aspect of cheating, or aka cheating, they're going against Heavenly Father, of what they promised Heavenly Father in the basis of marriage and their vows. Many women do this more than men do nowadays. Of course, I know there's a percentage of both that do it to one another, but even if there are guys that do it as well as women, that woman, if his woman's doing it to him, and if her man's doing it to her, even while she's doing it to him, they're both going against the promise to Heavenly Father. Not logical. Not realistic. You will be judged when your time is up on this planet, and you may not walk through the gates of heaven. If you continue to sin, even to that level. Yes, I'm gonna also add that pornography is a sin. Even when it pertains to women watching it, it's still a sin. Even when it comes to men and women, or women and women doing the dirty deed, as it were. In actuality, in action, right? That's also a sin. What's also a sin is what's happening in what's been formed and known as the LBGT. The LBGT movement, part of the human half of society and the population. The gay lesbian thing, that's also a sin. I don't mean to get religious on people, but I'm being honest. Again, step. Those who go against the Bible in any way, shape, or form may be forgiven, but when it comes to murder, kill in the sense of killing, or any loss of life aspect outside the hospital aspect, right? Of trying to revive the person type of thing, right? If you harm a woman, or if a woman harms a man, or if a man harms a man, or if a woman harms another woman in the sense of their demise, they sin. There's no forgiveness. There's absolutely no forgiveness. And if you want to be forgiven, you'll be repenting for the entire remainder of your lifetime on this planet. Thereby, you'll still be judged when your time is up. For all the other actions that you've done that were against the Bible, against the word of our Heavenly Father and our Savior, you will be judged. I'm not preaching anything, I'm being honest. I'm not here to preach the gospel, I'm just being honest because I care about everybody on this planet, even our children. Our children were not put in the spiritual sense of saying, I want to be born in your ear. I want to be born. I want to be born. Come on, get with it and get me born. They didn't do that in the spiritual sense even to the woman. Women, granted, have the right in the sense of either having an abortion, even if the guy doesn't believe in it. It's her body, right? And or having the child. But here's the thing. When it goes to numeral dos, they having the child part of it. The woman cannot obviously go, well, I gotta think about what's best for me. And yet she'll outrightly claim, I need to do what's best for me and my child. It's always her first. But yet some women will say, I need to do what's best for my child and or children and me. Really, it's really in her mind is for her. For herself. Sinful. Outright, direct sin. And what the woman I showed you and let you listen to, also a sin. Her statements were also a sin. Illogical as well, but yeah. And here's the thing, though, too. What Yogi Oates claims is also a sin. He doesn't, and like I said in my other video before this one, is that he doesn't know jack shit when it comes to women, relationships, or Mgtow, or anything else for that matter. He may claim that he does, even when he had a discussion with a woman on a split screen. Oh my, that should prove that I know more than other men, even more than the Mgtow man. That's in his mind. No. Yogi Oates, you don't know shit, okay? You want to act like you know crap, just as I told the what I said on the CRPHA of my advocate video when it came to Alex Bennett. If you want to do that, go and try to find someone outside of YouTube that would also have the same mindset and mind level of you, which is not that high. It's not even high at all, really. To be honest, it's arrogant, it's stupid, brain dead, simpish, among others. I know many of those who watch my CRPHA videos might be still watching this. I don't know. But if you are, welcome. And those who are new to my channel, click subscribe and the bell, and you'll get new updates besides of what you see of my CRPHA videos and of my logical Mgtow videos and of my logical psychiatry videos. The basic fact is, what I said is the truth, though. The basic fact is also is this. Those who go into the aspect of thinking that they know more than what they really truly know. You know, they even indirectly put it on YouTube. And are only spouting out words, or even maybe they could be doing what Yogi Oats might be doing, is reading a script card of what was written to say and how to say it, especially, and what look to give when you say it. You're not really being you when you do that. The psychological psychosis of women nowadays is not only the base that they're indecisive, as I've said so many times in my other videos, and even if they are in relationships or not in relationships, they're still kind of grasping at straws. Men are doing the same thing. I'm not going to lie. Men and women have done this grasping at straws metaphor for hundreds of years. Even more so than that. In their minds, that's exactly what they're doing. Trying to figure out what straw it would help them through things, or what straw would help them figure out what's best for them. That pertains to both male and female. But sometimes that straw is not always the solution, 100%. Sometimes we'll find straws that are actually 100%. We learn as we go. We learn as we go. We learn as we do, essentially, another way of putting it. But the one thing is that if women truly, really wanted the white picket fence, the house, the kids, the dog, the whole Beauty and the Beast, the whole Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the whole Cinderella story, the whole Prince Charming crap, right? Then why put men through hell? Why put men through these obstacles? Why not be direct? Not fully direct, not illogically direct, but emotionally, logically direct. We are the same. We are direct with you women. You may not see it, but we are. You might say the same thing about us, but guess what? We do see it. But the one thing is also women. When you do the aspect of entitlements, you lose us 100%. when you do the base of not being happy and wanting more, in which he reaches to the unrealistic aspect of non-reality, you lose us. Okay, when you go to the points of going behind our backs and cheating on us. Oh yeah, believe me, you'll lose us. But there are those guys that will still forgive you and stay with you. But eventually they'll turn to the points to where they won't forgive you and they will never stay with you if they really want to be who they can be and who they truly are from within. The one thing, ladies, you need to realize, if you want all the positive things that you've envisioned since the age of 4 or 5 years of age, from the wedding on through, right? Even that somewhat in some philosophical way or what have you that connects with the Snow White and the Cinderella story. When it comes to the base of Prince Charming, you cannot go to the points of non-reality. You cannot go to the points of expecting more from the guy, more than what is realistically given to you and awarded to you and basically handed to you, essentially. Thereby, also, women, you cannot say, well, if you don't do this, if you don't give me what I want in the sense of money or items, then you're not really ready for a relationship. Because you definitely will stay single for that mindset. You don't see guys going, well, if you don't do this, if you don't do what I want you to do, then you're not ready for a relationship, are you now, bitch? Or anything for that matter. Us men know better. Feminists may disagree with me, I don't care, but the basic fact is, what I have said in this video will speak volumes. What I have said in many other of my videos will speak more than volumes. This video is long for a reason because I got a lot to say. And the one thing also is this. Women are so indecisive, even if they reach for the Cinderella story, the Sleeping Beauty story, the Beauty and the Beast story, the Snow White and Seven Dwarfs depiction. You know that they're reaching for something that's not really there, really, to be honest, because they don't know what the hell they want. They don't know what the hell they want. They claim that they've been envisioning all this Beauty and the Beast, the Cinderella story, the whole, all the stories I mentioned, as from children. I mean, it's a good imagination thing, which is always healthy to have an imagination for children, especially. But the basic fact is that when it comes to the actual relationships, even because of the feminist movement, even currently, is that they're reaching out for something that's not really there. And they don't realize it. But they see something coming towards them that's not really there. If you look at in the psychosis of psychology, you will see that the more you reach for something that you envision, women, ladies, but yet when you get to it, all you see is the end of the fabric. the end result is the end of the fabric. Nothing was pulling it with it. You could say men are the same way, but the one thing is that we men do not go to the points of the fairy tale. We men do not go to the points of any depiction. It doesn't go that way at all. So generally, the one thing is, ladies, you need to really re-examine yourselves. And that starts with, when it comes to the feminist movement, you need to separate yourself from, because you don't need a feminist movement to be empowered, or you don't need a Me Too movement to be empowered within yourself. You don't need to be in any movement to feel secure within yourself. You don't need any movement to feel that you're the person that you want to be. That's up to you, not up to anything else or anybody else. And it doesn't go to the point to where you feel that you are who you want to be when a guy gives you things, or even if the guy spends loads of cash on you. That doesn't show it, because that base is not realistic. If you really want to be who you are and who you truly think that you are and feel that you are, and then when it comes to any positive level, you need to do it within yourself and do it for yourself. Regardless if you have a man or not, you do it for yourself. But the basic fact is also, you don't fuck up a guy's life just to get it. You don't fuck up the beneficial aspect for the child or children that you have or may even are about to have. You don't fuck it up and think that you know what's best for them when you really don't. Because you're only really reaching for what's best for you. Until you really know what's best for you and you actually get it for yourself, only then would be logical to have a child with a guy. That means you would not cheat on him. That means you would not do him wrong. You would not expect more higher base of entitlement. That means also you would not go to the points of wanting non-realistic shit. But until that happens, you may not be with a guy for many years and keep whining and bitching and moaning and wondering why there's not any good men out there that would basically simp and bow down and be subservient to you. Because you obviously do not truly know what you want. This goes by the base of psychology and the base of Spock. He would even say the same thing, but in a different manner though. What women want when it comes to feminist movements is illogical. When women want when it comes to relationships, apparently, illogical. Not logically sound either. So get this, ladies. You want to keep on bitching and moaning why there is not any good men out there. There were good men out there. There's, in a way, there are in some respect. But the one thing is that there are still a percentage of simps, blue pills out there right now. But the real good men, you turned away. You've done wrong. You've divorced. You've essentially snuck behind their backs and backstabbed them in some way or another. You've turned them into the men that they are now, which are emotionally, psychologically secure within themselves. and independent and confident within themselves. But when it comes to the fact when they're with women is when they're knocked down a notch or two or even more, where the whole thing start, where the whole rebuilding themselves would start up again. Then the whole thing starts up again in hindsight after that. So women, you need to realize the apple of the tree will never be the one you want. The Dr. Pepper or Pepsi flavor will never be the one you want because obviously you don't know what the fuck you want in the fucking first place. Which goes in the base of female indecisiveness. And that also goes to the points to where if you want a bright future, as everybody deserves, even the males themselves deserve a bright future. Even the children of today, especially, and the future children deserve a bright future, a bright, positive future. That is, especially. Yet, if the if the game between the male and female aspect keeps on going, there will never be a true, logical, bright future for either side, even for the ones that are not asked to be put in the middle of the whole thing, which is our children. They will be. Think about this. All right, think about this, ladies. Think about this, men too. Most men know this already. Even Tom Likas, for that matter, knows this. Is that the reason why there were gangs, like the Crips and Bloods? The reason why there's been robberies done by teenagers and such like that, is because of the indecisiveness of women, the constant need and want from women, from men to that women have wanted. You've the teenage women have knocked down the male in the teenage aspect in to where they end up getting in deep trouble by the law. It's because we were taught to love and cherish and care for the woman, and she'll love and cherish and care for us equally. We were duped. We were duped. We were lied to by our parents. But yet, I'm not gonna say it's directly directly the parents' fault. They were only going by what they felt that would be good for us when it comes to being in a relationship. That's understandable. Every parent wants that. Every parent wants what's good for the child. Even when it comes to the base of independence, when they're out on their own and in the quote unquote dating world aspects, especially when it comes to being together with another woman, with a woman essentially outside the family, right? And when it comes to pertaining to the base of females and whatnot. Hold on one second. And the one thing is this, is that when you see this of what I said, you will see that I am being honest. On this video, you will see that I am being honest. You will see that there all the things that you women have done have only worked for only so long. But yet, your biological clocks will start ticking louder and louder and louder and louder. The more it becomes more difficult for you women to find any man. You women want the impossible, the unrealistic, the unreachable that's not really there. The more you want the unrealistic that's not really there, the less chances you'll ever get one. You'll ever get what you really want. Put aside the fairy tales. Seriously, put aside the fairy tales. And really look at what's really there for you. And you will see that what I said is an actuality, because in order to actually get what you want emotionally for you, as well as emotionally for the man, that's as far as it'll go. It may go farther as time goes on, but the one thing is, it doesn't go to the points of realistic aspects. You have to accept things for who and how they are. And if you can, then you will be single for the rest of your life. And you'll have to be happy as best as possible. So logically, ladies and men know this as well. You cannot bitch and moan and complain, even after watching this video. And whine and moan and wonder why, where are all the good men? When you obviously want what's still impossible and non-realistic, obviously. In your mind, it's realistic, but it's not. In your viewing of reality, it's realistic, but it's not. The one thing is, ladies, you need to realize this is not bullshit. This is not bullshit at all. This is reality. This is the way things are. You keep on wanting the impossible from men. Men nearly drain their energy just to try to give it to you. But you're still not happy. You still monkey branch over to the next and try to get what you want. And then you do the same thing. It's a repeating cycle even on that aspect. And yet you're still not happy. So guess what, ladies? You cannot expect the non-reality. You cannot expect miracles to happen for you that you envision for you, because you only can get only so much realistically, and if you're not happy, oh fucking well, you have to deal with it. And hold on once again. And I tell you, there's one thing also, is that you need to realize, ladies, on this video, you need to realize that I am not bullshitting you. I will never bullshit people on any one of my videos. Men nearly kill themselves to do shit for you women. Even in the base of protection and even in the base of keeping your bellies full, as well as their bellies and your children's and the child's belly full, and your backs and bottoms clothed and covered with clothing. The basic fact is that you are not happy. You want still the impossible. And I know you'll monkey branch until you get it. And yet your biological clock will start ticking even more. When you can't get it, your biological clock will still tick even more, to the point where you're infertile. Thereby, say for example, if you don't have any children, and you still monkey branching around from one guy to the next, right? The one thing is, you'll monkey branch until you get it, which basically will be your whole entire lifetime. And you'll find that you will never really reach it. Now ask yourself, ladies, this. Are you willing to spend your whole entire lifetime to reach for something that's not really there, even if you envision it to be there? Thereby, that piece of cloth right there could be so long to the point as to when you're on your deathbed. And yes, you could still be on your deathbed. You could be on your deathbed at any age due to an illness or whatever the hell else, right? Many things can happen to many people at any age. You don't have to be a senior citizen or old, or even as what's known as old as dirt for things to happen to you in the sense of your deathbed. You need to be happy for who and how you are and what you get, especially when it comes to relationships. And accept it. Because man can accept for what they got in the relationship and what they get in the relationship and what they've been given in the relationship. Thereby, you have accepted him for who and how he is, and you said your vows in the relationship for both, and you promised Heavenly Father in the same aspect of things, right? You cannot envision things that are not really reachable. Because you do that, you're all you're doing is really driving yourself crazy. All you're doing is not really benefiting anybody in the long run, not even yourself. You're just making things harder and harder. Now, not 100% on the on or towards the man, or even against him, or towards the child, even though it's equal in that aspect, right? But you're making it harder mainly on you. And who gets the other brunt of it? The child. Who got maybe a moderate percentage of it? The man. Who doesn't have to deal with it after the divorce, aside from the child support? The man. Who has to deal with it for the rest of their natural life? You women. Along with the child is put in the mix of it. And guess what? That is one other thing that the child was not put on this planet for. Just because you didn't get what you wanted from that man, you are putting that aspect not only on yourself, but also the child has to get a percentage of the brunt of it, which is not really logical and not really logically fair and realistically fair for the child. Every child deserves to have two people, the father and the mother. For many years now, there have been questions like, why are the children so defiant? Why are the children this way? Why are the children so angry? Why are the children so this? Why are the children so that? You really want to know? I can tell you right now. It's because of the fact that there's no male figure. And it's because of the indecisiveness of the woman. Be that the mother. The mother of the child. You do not understand this, do you, ladies? You won't even acknowledge it to be an actuality, because it is an actuality. It is reality. It is reality. You were so in tune of getting what you saw in the distance that you expected the guy to give you. Yet even if he gave you and gave you and gave you and gave you and gave you all the way to the point to where he was nearly broke, and where he nearly, not totally of course, but nearly didn't do things beneficial for him, you're still not happy. The end result, right? Yet even after the divorce, you're still not happy. Yet you want to look for another simp. You're still not happy. Even if you pull the reins in of another guy, you're still not happy. Quote, main quotation aspect is your indecisiveness, which can easily connect with one's insecurities. And also the aspect of saying, oh, I know what I want from me. But do you? You may at a certain young age, but when it comes to the whole base of things, of you and of you and the man, as time goes on, that man is gone, which leaves you. You're still not happy. And yet, metaphorically, you're still pulling that that cloth that you see that has something that you want attached to it as it's being pulled towards you, right? Yet until you get it, you're not really going to be happy. That's the whole mindset of your indecisiveness right there. That's a whole collaboration of it right there. Until you get really what you want, you're never going to be happy. Yet here's the thing. Heavenly Father wants us to be happy. Our Savior, Jesus Christ, wants us to be happy. He wants both genders to be happy, not just the one. It doesn't matter. Both Heavenly Father and our Savior doesn't want just a woman to be happy. He wants his sons of the sons of the children on this planet to be happy. Being the men, the boys, the sons of the son might be that, of course, if I had a son, or if you have a son, or if the father has a son, right? Or if you both have a son in that aspect, right? They want them to be happy. They want the guy to be happy because the father of the son is also the son of Heavenly Father. They want the daughter of the son, being the mother of the son, to be happy. They want the mother of the daughter and the father of the daughter to be happy. And the daughter in general, or the son in general, the child in general, to be happy as well. Equal. But it will never happen. Because of your indecisiveness, until that indecisiveness goes to the complete non-existence, then only then will you be truly happy. Or even if you ignore the thing that you envision, that's not really there. But yet you see it as you pull the cloth, as I said earlier. Once you go into something with a man, in the sense of marital aspects, when you go into something with a man, when it comes to building a family, when you go into something with a man on any level, when it comes to relationships and marriage, and when it comes to the level of relationships, when it comes to the income situations, you have accepted that. When it comes to the way things are playing out for you, you have to learn to accept that. Even, I mean, hell, I can guarantee you, the things that are negative that happen financially to a guy, even while married, they don't want it to happen, but they know it happens. They learn essentially that it happens and why and how. And many times we try to escape from it. But eventually, somehow or another, it comes right back to us, even when we least expect it. That's reality for you. And I know this video has gone up to about a little over 2 hours, but I'm being honest. I'm telling you a lot of things that's necessary to say. Because it's truth, reality, and logic. Hence the name Logical Psychiatry connected with Logical Mgtow. The basic fact is that in even each one of my logical psychiatry and logical Mgtows and even the CRPHA videos that I've made is more than true and factual. So you can try to escape the unwanted all you want, ladies, but you're really wasting loads of energy wearing yourself out. Men have tried to do that same thing, but eventually realize they can't when it comes to reality and the responsibilities of things, among other things. But they can escape you. Men can escape you and your indecisiveness and your illogical aspects and what have you more. Meanwhile, there's Mgtow. You decided to go towards the Me Too and feminist movement, and because you don't feel empowered enough, you don't feel secure enough within yourself. You don't feel that you are being in the sense of equality. But here's the thing: no one's really going to be equal on anything. We may be equal on what we like and don't like. That's a given. There are men and women that like and and dislike the same thing. Some not so much, and some like only a percentage of what the guy likes, and some like the percentage of what the woman likes. It's not always 100% of every little thing. That's a basic acceptance right there. If you can accept that, ladies, you need to accept the base that once you go into something with a man in a relationship, marriage, and parental aspects, you cannot go to the points to where you go to the base of entitlements, though. Everyone's entitled to every large number of things. But they know, but at least in the male and gender aspect of things here, they know they'll get it eventually. They don't, if they don't get it at any given point within however long, they accept it eventually. But women, obviously, if they don't get it when they want it, they bitch and moan. And they think by divorcing the guy, making it to where child or children are fatherless, with no father outside of your dates, then they later consider to be the male father figure, which is not biologically the father. Yet it's not really a for sure thing, even a secure thing, emotionally as well as psychologically, even for the child itself. It's not beneficial. It's not logical. Yet there are guys out there that will act like they care about their child or children to the points to when they get what they want and hit it and quit it and then sayonara, arrivederci. Adios, slutarino, skankarino. Then it goes to the points where you women bitch and moan, why aren't there any good guys out there? And again, you guys, all women want are those men that will bow down to do what you're bidding for you, essentially. Heavenly Father doesn't like that type of that motivation from women and expectation from women, and our Savior doesn't like that expectation from women. It can be a forgiven thing, only for so long. Not very long though. It's like a one-time thing. Like for example, you go over to a base of a lotto, right? You know the lotto's only about maybe like a 1 to a billion trillion chance or whatever, right? Say for example you hit the big jackpot. You think, okay, well, seeing that I hit the jackpot again, and the one time maybe I'll do it again, right? What happens if you get pennies? You end up getting like 50, 60 cents, maybe a buck or two if you're lucky. Same pace of the pace of entitlements and expectations that you women have. Same level. Same aspect up here. Same aspect when it comes to pulling the cloth. When it comes to pulling the cloth, it's essentially the same thing. That ties in with your indecisiveness psychologically. Accept it or not, that's reality right there. That is the reality of things. Once you do realize this, it needs to go even further to where you don't go to that expectation. Ever. You may not be happy for some time, and then right when you get it to the point of where you're actually with a man and still don't have that expectation, then eventually the happiness builds up back up, right? But you cannot go back. Just because you build up the happiness doesn't mean you can go back to your expectation or to the base of entitlements. Because once you do that, then the whole thing starts up again. Then it'll go back to square one again. Actually, square 1 through 5 in that aspect. And you'll keep repeating square 1 through 5, 1 through 5, 1 through 5, the whole rest of your life from that point on, like you're doing now. You know, like men are doing now, especially within themselves and for themselves. But here's the thing: men are doing it in such a way that they're reaching beyond 5. Your the female indecisiveness, and even due to the feminist and Me Too movement, you're only going 1 through 5, 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 and 5 through 1, 5 through 1, 5 through 1, 5 through 1. A vicious cycle there. Psychologically and morally, it's a vicious cycle right there. Even for one's emotions within you. It may be a vicious cycle for the men, but they're able to deal with it. As long as they don't have to deal with your indecisiveness and your constant illogical, unrealistic need and want, they're fine with it. And the men out there know that they can talk to me if they have any questions. I'm not trying to be Einstein here, but I know enough to know that of what I said to be more than actuality and reality and spirituality aspects as well. I know I brought this up before, but this book will tell you that in its own way and more. But more in the base of spirituality within itself. For all mankind and all womankind, all the base of humanity, this book, known as the Bible, what is also known as the triple combination, and also the Bible itself, the Holy Bible itself, even King James in its own way, will take. And you don't have to be religious to understand this. If you think you have to be religious, you don't. Heavenly Father accepts us for who and how we are, but the basic fact is that He will not deal with what's been going on between the male and female and the marital aspects of, especially when it comes to the indecisiveness. The indecisiveness is acceptable for so long. But when it comes to the adultery aspect and cheating aspect, even when it goes beyond to the points of sexual promiscuities, you will not be forgiven. You may be forgiven maybe once, if not twice. Anything beyond that? No. Women may think, oh yeah, we're women. We'll be forgiven if we do it more than twice. No, you won't. You may feel or even think that, but you won't. Because if you feel and think that, this book goes to points of any child of Heavenly Father in our Savior's name that goes against anything, especially when it comes to sexual promiscuities, and even when it comes to the points of the gay lesbian thing. You will never reach the gates of heaven. You will never go through the gates of heaven. You'll be pretty much in what's known as earthbound, like the earthbound spirits. Or even to the general aspects of going right with Satan himself. Lucifer, if you want to put it another way of putting it. By doing this, you're not really promising a positive future for you. You're not doing anything in anything positive for a positive, bright future for your children either. The men separate from you aren't doing things for them to make them and their future positive and bright. Even if they do have to pay child support, they're still doing what they can to make their future by themselves bright. But those that keep going towards the sexual promiscuities, they know what'll happen. In my religion, there is there is a saying that it's easier for women to reach the gates of heaven than it is for men. But the more women do the illogical things, especially in the base of marriage, there's no way in hell you'd be reaching the gates of heaven. And it doesn't matter what gender you are, even if you are a woman. And even if the woman does sexual promiscuity in the sense of adultery, or anything else for that matter, in the sense of cheating in general, even against the Bible itself. Even when you go back on your promise to Heavenly Father, you will not. You women will not reach the gates of heaven when your time is up on this planet. Men know this. Many men have accepted it in their own way. But you women, with your indecisiveness, obviously have not. And I'm not placing judgment on this. And if Heavenly Father, I ask Heavenly Father to forgive me if it sounds like it's judgment, and knows that I'm not using it as such. And I ask this in our Savior's name. Amen. Thereby, with that, what are your thoughts going to be now, ladies? What are the thoughts of you men going to be? If you need to talk with me on logical psychiatry, just let me know via Facebook or on the comment thing below. This is logical psychiatry. Live long and prosper. Stay safe. Stay clean, even spiritually. Have a good day. Have